Hello, today we're talking about slope-intercept form lesson 2. All right, now we're going to do 4 examples all together, just a little refresher to make sure we know how to find the slope and the y-intercept. So here, that's what we're going to do for all of them, find the slope and the y-intercept. So here the slope, this is our slope-intercept form up here, slope and y-intercept. This is already in slope-intercept form, so all I have to do is match up. So the coefficient in front of the x is 3, so that's my slope. My y-intercept is this back number back here, so it's -5. 1 down. The next one, is that in slope-intercept form? No, I cannot tell what my slope or my y-intercept is in that form. So I have to solve for y. All right, so the first thing I do is subtract the 6 away. That's my constant, that's the thing furthest away from the y. Now I get rid of the coefficient. So y equals -2/3 x plus 2. If you don't know what -6 divided by -3 is, use a calculator. This we're going to leave as a fraction. Always, always, always leave your slope in a fraction. Do not make a decimal. So my slope here is -2/3. My y-intercept is 2. There you go. It's that simple. As long as you're good with manipulating equations, if you're not, you're going to struggle a little bit until you get the hang of it. But it's always get rid of everything that's not the coefficient and the y on that side, then get rid of the coefficient afterwards. Here, this is already in slope-intercept form, so my slope is 1/2, and my y-intercept is just that back number of -3. All right, and our last one over here is not in slope-intercept form, so I need to put it in slope-intercept form. Subtract x, 2y equals -x, divide by 2, divide by 2. Y equals, you can leave it, or no, make it -1/2 x. So all you're doing, and all I did here and here, is I just took the 2 from the x, I just basically took the x and took it off the fraction. That's what I did here. You could technically leave it like that, you could technically leave it like that, as long as you understand what your slope is. So here, my slope is -1/2. All right, but what is my y-intercept? There's no number back there. If there's not a number back there, then your y-intercept is just 0. So there's 4 examples for you of how to find slope and y-intercept. 2 of them were examples, just being able to find it from slope-intercept form, and the other 2, you had to manipulate it to get it to slope-intercept form, and then be able to get it. Right, don't worry about the fractions. Always leave fractions as your slope when you manipulate it like this, because if you have to graph it afterwards, you need your rise over your run. All right, here's another one. I just want to show you manipulating it again. You have to be able to manipulate these to get them to this slope-intercept form. So again, I get rid of what's outside of this right here first. So that's my 5x right there. So all I have to do is subtract 5x away. Do not try to divide 5x away. They're being added between the 2, they're not combined. The process between the 2y and the 5x is addition, so you just have to subtract it away. If you need help with this, there's earlier videos to help you with equations. Now I have to get the y all alone, so I have to divide the 2 away, because what's being done between the 2 and the y is multiplication, so I have to use division to move them. There you go. So your slope is -5/2. Your y-intercept is 3/2. All I did was simplify this. If I want to do this instead, that's fine. Just make sure you divide both of them by 2. All right, I have 2 more examples here. This one, I'm going to find the y-intercept on. This one, I'm going to find the slope on. All right, so the y-intercept is very, very simple to find. where does this line, which is my function, cross the y-axis? Well, it crosses it right here at 25. So my y-intercept is 25. So many people mess that up. All right, so this is an example of a line of best fit. All right, so in a line of best fit, you put a bunch of dots in there, you just basically draw a line that fits it the best. This one happens to go through two different points. It goes through 130 and then 750. So we're gonna find the slope from that using the slope formula. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 130, 750, we'll call this 1, 2. If you haven't seen this technique, just watch the slope video. You can do it however you want. This is how I do it. So now I just plug everything in. So 50 minus 30 over 7 minus 1. So I get 20 over 6, which simplifies down to what, 10/3. All right, now we're going to bring it all together. All right, so this is not in slope-intercept form. I need to put it in slope-intercept form because I want to graph it after it. So put it in slope-intercept and graph. That's what I'm doing for both these. I'm going to do this quickly because this video is starting to run long. So probably the easiest thing to do here is just move the y. I get 2x plus 4 equals y. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it, but I'm going to put the y on the other side. And now we need to graph this. So how you graph it is pretty easy. Again, if you need to do it a little bit more, there's other videos that I have on here that show you exactly how to do it. So I start at the y-intercept. You can remember that with graphs, the y-intercept always comes first with the slope-intercept form. You'll be good. So then I do my slope. So my slope is actually 2 over 1, which is rise over run. So I'm going to go, this time I'm going to go down 2, and I'm going to go over 1. Now you might be asking myself, how did I know which way to go over? Well, since the slope is positive, I have to make the line look positive. It's positive, negative. If this was negative, I would have moved it this way to make a negative line. Again, there's other videos for that. I'm going to go more in depth into it. All right, over here. Subtract the 3x, subtract the 3x. Y equals negative 3x minus 2. I lost my little chart thing, my graph that I used to use. Well, I didn't lose it, I had to return it to who had it. So now you guys are stuck with my terrible looking graphs. So when I graph this, I start at the y-intercept always. So negative 2. Now I have a slope. That slope is negative, so I know it's going to look like a negative line. So I have negative 3, which is 3 over 1, which is rise over run. So this time I'm going to go up 3. All right, so if I move this way when I run, I'm going to have a line that looks positive. Is the slope positive? No. So I'm going to move it this way to give myself a line that looks negative. And it's that easy. Don't overthink that part of it. And there you go. All right, this has been a rather long video on slope-intercept form lesson 2. Hope it helped in.